Incredible twist. Single dad's heartwarming act as CEO's fiancé revealed daughter's life-changing moment. The evening was dazzling, a swirl of lights and clinking glasses. Jack shifted awkwardly in his seat, feeling out of place among the sea of suits and ties. He wasn't a man of wealth, but every part of him wanted to be there, sharing the night with his daughter. Lily had always been his greatest treasure, her bright smile illuminating even the darkest days. The charity event was her idea, a chance to meet her friend Mia's influential family. But as Jack took a deep breath, the weight of grief wrapped around him like a dense fog, eager to stifle his heart. Just 2 years ago, they'd been a family of 3: Mia, Jack, and Lily, and now, he was struggling to be the rock she needed. As he fiddled with the worn-out button on his blazer, memories of his late wife came rushing back. The warmth of her laughter echoed in his mind, stirring a mixture of pride and pain. He had promised Mia to give Lily the best life he could, but could he do it in a room filled with gold-plated ideals? "Dad, you'll be great." Lily squeezed his hand, her confidence melting his apprehension. She was a resilient girl, blossoming into an inspiring young woman despite the loss. Jack didn't know how she managed it, but every day she impressed him more than the last. The vast hall brimmed with laughter and chatter, but Jack felt a strange mix of alienation and excitement. He had spent the past few weeks making sure they had enough to eat, and keeping her safe in a world that seemed to overlook them at every turn. Here he stood, tall and proud, radiating a warmth that caught the attention of the crowd. Jack mingled, chuckling softly at his attempts to fit in a mechanic with grease-stained hands thrust into a world of polished shoes. Then, as he shared a laugh with a group of executives, someone misheard his occupation, and suddenly others were looking at him differently. Jack, confused yet intrigued, was caught in a whirlwind where he was transforming into someone he wasn't. Ideas of status skewed reality around him. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. With each passing moment, Jack found himself tangled in a bizarre web spun from kindness and miscommunication. He could see Lily's delight at the unusual attention, and beneath the surface, something darker began to surface: the whispers of class division. Was their friendship as meaningful to Mia's circle as it seemed? The tension gnawed at him, a constant reminder that this facade wouldn't hold forever. Then, a chilling moment struck when the real CEO emerged from the crowd, a glimmer of surprise in his steely eyes as he locked onto Jack. The room went silent. Jack's heart raced, suffocating hope and fear intertwining in heavy silence. He rendered himself naked in that moment, devoid of pretense. "Who are you?" the CEO demanded, and Jack swallowed hard. "I'm just a guy trying to provide for his daughter." A gasp spread through the crowd, some stunned, others shocked. But in those words lay his truth. A working man's heart sparked with resilience and love. The moment hung unyielding. Would the truth lead to acceptance, or forever drown under prejudice? Jack had unknowingly stepped into a duel between two worlds: a world built on merit, and another reinforced by status. His courage sparked an unexpected journey. As he faced the echoes of grief and hope, he wondered if this would be the moment that redeemed their lives or strand them in isolation, tangled in the looming shadows of societal expectations. The silence in the room was deafening. Jack felt the weight of every gaze pressing down on him. A mixture of anger and fear clawed at his insides. He had thrown himself into this unknown world only to be exposed as an imposter. But worse still, a part of him feared for Lily, her bright eyes unfurling in confusion as she surveyed the scene. "Dad, what is happening?" Lily's voice cut through the tension like a bud bursting into bloom. He turned to her, and for a moment, the chaos faded. She had always been the anchor in his stormy life. "It's okay, sweetheart," he whispered, trying to reassure her when he felt anything but. "I'm just standing up for us." The CEO's eyes narrowed, evaluating Jack like a puzzle needing to be solved. You think this is a joke? You're just some mechanic crashing a charity event to rub elbows with the elite? Not a joke, Jack replied firmly, his voice steadying. I came for my daughter. She wanted to meet her friend's family. That's all this is about. Murmurs spread like wildfire, sympathy, disgust, surprise, all tangled up together. Jack could feel the divide ripple through the guests. He was aware that mistakes had been made, the miscommunication that twisted his identity like a knife in the gut. Each whisper felt like arrows, but beneath that, he stood tall for Lily. Mia stepped forward from the crowd, a worried frown on her face. Wait, hold on. He-s not crashing. He-s just Jack. Her voice was a soft lilt that carried through the hall, cutting through the tension that suffocated them all. She stepped close and took his arm firmly but gently. He-s my friend's dad. Her defense sounded like a soft blanket over a fire, and Jack's heart swelled at the support. He saw relief wash over Lily's face, and his chest tightened against the overwhelming emotions. The world seemed less harsh when it included people willing to stand up for others. You mean to tell me he-s not some fraud? The CEO's lip curled, contempt dripping from his words. How convenient. The crowd became restless, eyes darting between Jack and the CEO, uncertainty ingrained on every face. At that moment, Jack decided it didn't matter what they thought. He'd always been a fighter, and he would not stand by while Lily felt the sting of ridicule or embarrassment. The memories of his late wife surged within him. She'd raised him to be better than this, to stand firm for those he loved. Call it what you will, Jack said, matching the CEO's disdain with his own. I'm a dad, nothing more, nothing less. My hands are calloused from work and my heart is worn from loss, but I would do anything for my daughter. If that makes me less in your eyes, then maybe it's you who needs to reconsider your values. Lily's eye sparkled with pride, reflecting the strength she saw in him. The crowd was silent again, registering his defiance. That's it. You bow out to him like he's some kind of king? Mia exclaimed, anger flushing her cheeks. She knew better than to drop the topic. Jack, they can't keep you from being here with us. You belong here. In that moment, Jack realized it was true. He did belong, not defined by his job or status, but through love and conviction. But as he scanned the crowd, he noticed the CEO's hardened expression, a simmering rage radiating beneath the surface. Before Jack could say more, a familiar voice chimed in from the front row. This isn't over. Jack's heart raced. It was a confrontation waiting to unfold, an ongoing battle between recognition and rejection. He didn't know what the night would hold, but one thing lingered, heavy and unshakable. Could he stand his ground and protect his daughter from a world eager to tear them apart? Or would he be forced to face a version of himself he had never wanted to become? With the stakes escalated, Jack knew the next steps would change everything. Jack took a deep breath, the weight of the moment settling heavily on his shoulders. Every eye in the room was on him, a living tapestry of judgment and curiosity. Goosebumps prickled his skin, not from the chill in the air but from the impending risk. But he couldn't back down now, not with Lily looking up at him like he was her hero. Is that a threat? He countered, his voice firm, refusing to waver. The hostility crackled in the air between him and the CEO, a palpable tension that could ignite at any moment. The crowd shifted restlessly, uncertain of how this confrontation would unfold. Can't someone just enjoy a night out without being unclearly entitled? A voice shot out from the crowd, a woman clad in an elegant red dress. Jack recognized her as one of the event organizers. This is a charity event. Let us remember what we're here for. A few murmurs of agreement rippled through the audience. It was small, but the support bolstered Jack's courage. He could feel the tide turning, and it invigorated him. I didn't come for your charity, Mr. Blake, Jack replied, locking eyes with the CEO, who continued to glower. I'm here for my daughter. This isn't about status. This is about love. Love is fine, but it won't pay the bills, nor earn you a proper standing here, the CEO scoffed, dismissively waving his hand. Jack clenched his fists, the frustration boiling just below the surface. How could someone be so cold? But before he could respond, something shifted in Lily. She stood taller, her small frame full of resolve. "Daddy, I don't care if we don't belong here," she said, her voice strong as she stepped forward, surprisingly confident. "I'm proud of you. You work hard, and you love me. That's all that matters." Her words resonated in the room, penetrating the fog of tension. Everyone turned to her, and for a moment, the air was electric. A mixture of admiration and unexpected warmth swept through the crowd, transforming the judgment into reflection. The CEO's expression flickered, just for a moment, betraying something deeper underneath his bravado. Jack seized that moment, heart pounding in his chest. "What is your definition of belonging?" Jack asked, no longer just responding to the CEO but speaking to everyone. "Is it wealth? Titles? Because I'd choose a love with empty pockets over a life filled with gold without purpose." A ripple of emotion swept across the audience, and Jack felt their hearts shifting. Moments like this rarely happened in their polished world, where emotions were usually tucked away behind closed doors. But before he could bask in the moment, the CEO straightened and pointed sharply at him. "You think you're someone because of your courage? How naive. People like you don't belong in the circles I run. You need to remember your place." Jack's heart sank. For every inch he gained, the CEO was ready to reclaim territory. Yet there was a fire igniting inside him, fueled by his love for Lily. He refused to give in. "Whatever circle you run in doesn't matter," Jack said, pain leaking into his voice. "What matters is that I will always stand up for my daughter. And I'll keep fighting, no matter how daunting the challenge." The gasp that rose from the crowd mingled with an overwhelming feeling of solidarity. Jack could feel it, the surge of connection that came from shared humanity, the fight for something greater than oneself. But just as hope swelled in Jack's chest, the CEO leaned in, a calculating smile spreading across his face. "And what if this isn't just about you? What if there's more at play than you can imagine?" Before Jack could respond, a sudden realization struck like a thunderclap. "What do you mean?" he asked, wariness in his voice mingled with curiosity. "Trust me, Jack," the CEO said, leaning closer. "It's not just about charity. This is about family, and connections that run deeper than you think." The ambiguity in his tone sent a chill down Jack's spine. What could he possibly mean? He watched the CEO with growing dread, fully aware that something ominous was brewing beneath the surface. Lily's hand slipped into his, grounding him amidst the turmoil. Whatever the CEO hinted at, Jack knew one truth: he would not allow anyone to come between him and his daughter. The stakes had become unbearably high, and the next moment was pivotal. Jack felt the ground shift beneath him. What truth lay hidden in the shadows? As uncertainty loomed, he braced himself for the clash that was far from over. He could already sense the winds of change approaching, and he would meet it head-on. What revelation awaited him, and would it change everything he thought he knew? The air hung thick with tension as the CO's words lingered, each syllable a stone dropped in a still pond, rippling outward. Jack stared at him, narrowing his eyes. He could feel and see the emotions swirling in that vast hall: confusion, empathy, disbelief. He focused on Lily, her small hand gripping his tightly, her eyes wide but unyielding. "More at play?" Jack finally managed to say, his heart racing. The CEO seemed to relish the moment, basking in the uncertainty he had created. "It's not just about being present, Jack," the CEO explained smoothly, surveying the crowd as if he was the conductor of an orchestra. "It's about connections, family ties that bind us tighter than any contractual obligation." Jack clenched his jaw, wanting to shake off the chills creeping up his spine. "I'm here for my daughter." "You're talking about something else, something dark," he shot back, recognizing the looming threat in the CEO's tone. Thinking quickly, Jack turned his gaze to the audience. "Is family just a matter of blood?" He scanned their faces, hoping to find allies among them. "Or is it something you create through love and hard work?" A murmur of agreement rippled through the crowd, and for a second Jack felt their collective strength, a reminder that he wasn't alone in this fight. Yet, the CEO remained unfazed, calculating and cold, like he was savoring a pawn being played on a chessboard. You're naive to think that love conquers all, Jack, the CEO shot back. This world, he gestured broadly, operates in a way you wouldn't understand. Jack's heart pounded as he recognized that the CEO was no longer just announcing his disdain. He was threatening something far deeper, something that could affect Lily's future irrevocably. What are you insinuating? If this is about something more personal, if you're suggesting interesting, you should mention family, the CEO interrupted, leaning in. Didn't you know I have a daughter too? She matters to me more than you could ever know. The choices I make are for her benefit. Jack's breathing quickened as a realization hit him. Are you suggesting that our lives are somehow intertwined? He exclaimed, disbelief coloring his voice. I won't let you drag my daughter into your twisted games. Oh, it's more than a game, Jack. Wouldn't you be intrigued to learn your daughter has a tether to mine, one that runs much deeper than you could imagine? The smile on the CEO's face sickened Jack. Lily tugged at Jack's sleeve, her voice soft but clear. Daddy, what does he mean? The innocence in her question cut through the heated exchange. Jack knelt down to her level, his heart aching. It's just a misunderstanding, sweetheart. You and I, we're a team. But what if it's true, Dad? Lily's eyes reflected a concern he wished to shield her from. Jack felt the weight of his protective instinct surge within him, battling the fear that seeped into his thoughts. No one can take away our bond. Not him, not anyone, he said firmly, yet doubt wrestled in his chest. The CEO straightened and chuckled, a sound devoid of warmth. Oh, but Jack, everything has a cost. You'll see just how strong those family ties can get when they're pulled. A collective intake of breath echoed through the crowd, as if shared apprehension hung in the air. Jack wiped sweat from his brow. This was more than a simple confrontation. It was a confrontation of futures, a collision of destinies. With Lily's small hand still in his, Jack felt the depth of his love for her, a fierce flame that could become a wildfire against the looming threat. He wouldn't lose her. Whatever connection the CEO suggested might exist, Jack would fight against it. But the lingering question remained, what very real connection did the CEO imply? And what would it mean for Jack and Lily? An unsettling chill washed over him as he pondered the possibility of a truth that could change their lives forever. The night was winding down, yet their battle felt like it was just about to begin. Jack steeled himself, refusing to bow to fate. Whatever came next, he would face it with determination. What secrets lay buried within this unexpected connection, and how far would Jack go to protect his daughter from what was to come? Jack's mind was racing as he processed the CEO's chilling insinuations. He wanted to protect Lily from the poisonous atmosphere swirling around them, yet a darker part of him couldn't quite shake the dread that had taken root. He inhaled sharply, his heart thumping loudly in his chest, every beat echoing a vow of protection. As the murmurs around him turned into a low buzz, Jack rose to his feet, unwilling to let fear dictate his next move. What do you want? He demanded, his voice steady despite the tempest inside him. The CO's expression twisted into a smug smile, as if Jack had just played into his hands. Only what's best for our daughters, he said, his tone smooth, yet laced with sarcasm. I have my reasons, Jack. The two of them, they're destined for something. He paused, letting the weight of his words settle like fog over the crowd. Jack looked back at Lily, who was watching the whole exchange with wide, curious eyes. A mix of confusion and fear painted her face, and his heart broke seeing it. You don't have to listen to him, sweetheart, he whispered, kneeling down again to her height. Lily nodded, though her uncertainty lingered, like a leaf trembling on a branch before the storm. Jack brushed his fingers through her hair, trying to channel all the love he felt for her into that small gesture. We're a team, he reminded her again, hoping to infuse their bond with strength. Before he could gather his thoughts further, the CEO spoke again, pacing slowly as if he were clutching at dangerous secrets. Tell me, Jack, he said, his voice a low drawl. Have you ever wondered why she looks like my daughter? The resemblance is uncanny, wouldn't you agree? Bow rose in Jack's throat. You can't possibly think that this is some sort of twisted coincidence, he shot back, anger flaring like a flame. She is my daughter, and I won't let you manipulate this situation. The CEO's eyes glinted with a mix of delight and menace. Ah, but what if I suggested there's more to discover than mere resemblance? What if I told you that our lives have been intertwined long before you could possibly imagine? Jack clenched his fists, fighting to keep his composure. A knot of fear twisted tighter within him. You're lying. My daughter is nothing like you, he shot back, but his voice faltered at the thought of unknown connections that might exist. One member of the crowd stepped forward, an older woman whose eyes reflected a lifetime of secrets, tried to speak. Jack, she called out, her voice trembling, you need to listen. There are things you don't understand. This man, he has ties that go beyond what most families know. Jack turned toward her, desperation clawing at him. Then tell me what you know, he demanded. He needed clarity, something to make sense of this madness that seemed like it was spiraling out of control. Your daughter, the woman hesitated, her breath short, before finally taking a deep breath. There's a legacy here, Jack. And her connection to the CEO's daughter, it runs deep. It's more than just resemblance, it's fate. Fate? Jack echoed, disbelief mixed with horror. What does that even mean? At that moment, the CEO interjected with a dark chuckle. You'll find out soon enough, he declared, satisfaction dripping from every word. What I have in store will change everything for both of you. Jack pushed himself up, ready to confront the man once more, but Lily grasped his arm, her little fingers trembling. Dad, she whispered, I'm scared. Jack looked into her eyes, determination hardening his resolve. I promise, Lily. I won't let anything happen to you. I'll protect you. But doubts began gnawing at him. How could he fight against forces he barely understood? Just then, the lights dimmed around them, shifting the atmosphere into something even more foreboding. Whispers erupted among the crowd, a wave of uncertainty crashing over them. The lingering tension hung heavy in the air, a spectator to the turmoil brewing within. Facing the CEO one last time, Jack felt a pulse of adrenaline surge through him. Whatever you think you know, whatever game you're playing, I will not allow you to take my daughter's future away. As Jack vowed to plunge into this battle headfirst, the CEO's mocking laughter filled the hall, a promise of conflict yet to come hanging in the air like a storm cloud on the horizon. As Jack tightened his grip on Lily's tiny hand, a chilling thought surfaced. What if the connections were real? What if their lives had been destined to collide all along? Determined, he knew one thing: he would fight, no matter what secrets lay ahead. But as doubts crept in, he couldn't shake the gnawing question: how far would he go to uncover the truth and protect the life they both deserved? Jack's heart raced as the lights flickered back to life, revealing the faces of those who filled the room. The crowd seemed to shift, eyes darting toward the CEO and then back to him. A sense of vulnerability washed over Jack. He felt exposed, as if every unsaid word was etched on his skin. Dad? Lily's small voice cut through the tension, and he turned to kneel beside her again. Her innocent gaze pierced through his bravado. What's going on? Why is he saying all those things? Jack swallowed hard, wishing more than ever that he could shield her from this chaos. It was supposed to be a normal day. It was supposed to be just them, no looming threats, no revelations. I don't know, sweetheart, he finally admitted, guilt washing over him. But we're going to figure this out together. Together, she echoed, her small hand tightening around his. That gave him strength. The CEO's voice cut through the air with a flourish. You have no idea what you're up against, Jack. This isn't just a game, it's a legacy, one that was set in motion long before you and I even crossed paths. His eyes glinted with a predatory excitement. You're standing on the brink of something much greater than you've ever imagined. Jack stood slowly, eyes narrowing at the CEO. If there's a legacy, then I'll fight for my daughter's place in it. The words felt monumental, reverberating in the heavy silence of the room. The older woman stepped beside him, her face grave. There are truths, Jack, deeply rooted and shrouded in darkness. If you dig too deeply, you may uncover more than you can handle. Then I'll handle it, Jack shot back, his voice louder now, resonating with determination. "Whatever it takes to protect Lily, I'll do it." The crowd shifted uncomfortably as murmurs of concern rippled through them. Jack caught glimpses of frightened faces, each reflecting the uncertainty that rattled through him. This was no ordinary show of power. This was a confrontation that teetered on the edge of revelation and chaos. "Ah, the noble father," the CEO crooned, though the sincerity behind it was laced with mockery. "But don't you see? You're playing a part in a much larger play. All of us are, and you might want to reconsider who your allies truly are." Jack felt the ground beneath him shift. Allies. That word echoed in his mind, thrusting him into a world of hidden agendas and intersections that he wasn't prepared for. "What are you implying?" he challenged, knowing he needed to stay focused, not let the underlying intimidation rattle him further. The CEO leaned closer, relishing the tension. "Let's just say the connection between our daughters runs deeper than you could possibly understand. The sooner you realize that, the better it will be for both of you." A shiver ran down Jack's spine. The CEO seemed to know something he didn't, some secret held tight in his grasp. "Dad, I don't like this," Lily whispered again, her eyes glimmering with tears. Jack knelt, spread his arms wide as he enveloped her within a protective embrace. "I won't let them hurt you, Lily. I promise," he whispered fiercely, meeting her gaze with all the love in his heart. "Dad, what if they're telling the truth?" The question hung in the air like a heavy curtain, blocking out any light. It pierced straight to Jack's core. The potential for unsettling truths threatened to crumble everything he knew. Their quiet life could turn upside down, just like that. As he held her tighter, the weight of uncertainty loomed heavier. "We'll face whatever comes, together," he repeated, though the slight tremor in his voice betrayed his fears. Just then, the lights flickered again, casting shadowy silhouettes against the walls. The whispers intensified, a cacophony of voices rising. Suddenly, Jack spotted the CEO grinning wider, and it sent an icy chill through him. "I hope you're ready for what's to come, Jack. It's just the beginning." Jack felt his heart pummel against his rib cage. What lay ahead? He had to uncover the truth, had to fight for Lily and all they stood for. Yet, with every heartbeat, doubt lingered like smoke in the air. And as shadows danced around them, Jack was left wondering what other secrets were hidden, waiting to be revealed. Was he prepared for the fight of his life? Would the truth bring them closer or tear them apart? Jack's resolve hardened as he stood holding Lily, her tiny form trembling against him. The CEO's smug grin lingered in his mind like a dark storm cloud. He could feel the heavy atmosphere pressing down on them, suffocating in its intensity. "Daddy, what do we do?" Lily's voice wavered, tugging at his heartstrings. Her trust in him felt like both a blessing and a burden. "We stay calm, Lily. We stay strong," he replied, searching the crowd for allies. He needed support, a way to understand the implications of what the CEO had said. This was more than just a business deal, or a petty rivalry, it felt personal. Jack tried to mask his growing fear. Allies, the word echoed in his head. Who could he trust in this room full of shifting allegiances? He felt alone, a lone soldier on a battlefield he hadn't signed up for. The older woman had reappeared at his side. "Jack, there's more to this than meets the eye. The connection between our daughters is only the tip of the iceberg," she said, her tone grave. "You really need to tread carefully." "What do you mean?" "What's their connection?" Jack pressed, frustration seeping into his tone. She hesitated, eyes darting as if weighing the consequences of speaking out loud. "It's time you know. Your family holds secrets, secrets that were buried long ago. If you dig, you could endanger both your lives." Jack steeled himself. "We've faced challenges before. I'll do whatever it takes to protect her. What if those secrets could shatter your world? They're not just mundane family matters." "Think bigger," she urged, her expression urgent. The words wrapped around him like a vice. He glanced down at Lily, her brows furrowed in concern while looking around the room, the uncertainty radiating from her. Jack felt his stomach churn at the thought of frightening her further. "Dad, I want to go home," she whispered, eyes welling with tears, vulnerable in a way that invoked a fierce protectiveness in him. Jack cupped her face between his hands, forcing her to meet his gaze. "We'll go home soon. Just a little longer, okay?" He felt the weight of his promise, unsure if it would hold once the truth came crashing down. "Jack." The CEO's voice sliced through the tension again, drawing attention. "Are you ready to learn about the legacy you've awakened? The truth is a double-edged sword." The suggestion of hidden dangers sparked something primal within him. "What do you know?" Jack demanded, stepping forward, adrenaline coursing through him. "Your daughter's future is intertwined with a past that's far more complex than either of you could imagine," the CEO replied, a predatory gleam in his eyes. Jack's fists clenched, a surge of determination pushing him forward. "I wouldn't let you manipulate us or turn this into a game." "Manipulation is just part of business, my friend," the CEO smirked, his delight palpable. "Are you up for a challenge?" Facing him felt like standing at the mouth of a beast. Jack shivered as he considered the weight of his next words. "What do you want?" Just then, another figure stepped out of the shadows, a familiar face that made Jack's breath catch in his throat. A face he had trusted long ago, one he thought he'd left behind. "Jack, I think it's time we talked," the newcomer said, voice steady. The crowd held its breath, as anticipation pulsed through the air. Jack's heart twisted with a mix of anger and confusion. You have no idea how deep this goes, do you?" the figure replied, a rueful smile crossing their lips. The truth was crumbling the ground beneath his feet. What else was hidden? Jack's blood quickened as he realized this confrontation was far from over. Was he ready for the chaos that the revelations would bring? And would the past he'd tried to escape finally catch up with him? Jack's mind raced, grappling with the familiar face before him. This was someone who had once shared laughter, dreams, and tender moments that felt like a lifetime ago. "What are you doing here?" he stammered, confusion flooding his voice. The figure took a step forward, their eyes penetrating, full of emotions that spilled into the heavy air. "I'm here because I owe it to both of you. There are things you need to understand, Jack." Just then, Lily tugged at his sleeve, her little body trembling slightly. "Daddy, is she a friend?" Jack knelt to her level, searching for the right words. "Sort of, sweetie. She was a friend, a long time ago." A flicker of recognition crossed the woman's face as she looked at Lily. "She looks just like you, Jack. Such a beautiful child." "I'm not a child. I'm a big girl." Lily puffed out her chest defiantly, earning a soft chuckle from the crowd around them. The tension, if only momentarily, seemed to lighten. "Listen, Jack, we don't have much time," the woman insisted, urgency creeping back into her voice. "Your daughter's life is intertwined with forces that will stop at nothing. The CEO knows more than he's letting on." Jack's heart thudded painfully in his chest. "What are you talking about? Why would he? Because the truth is worth more than money in this industry. There are family ties here, Jack. Connections between our two families that were kept hidden because they were dangerous." Every word hit him like a punch. He glanced at Lily, who was watching him with wide, trusting eyes, unaware of the impending chaos. Jack felt the weight of the world on his shoulders. "You're saying there's something in our past that could hurt her?" "Yes, and it's not just a business rivalry. This goes deeper." "Enough with the riddles," Jack snapped, frustration boiling over. "Just tell me what I need to know." The woman opened her mouth to speak, but hesitation washed over her. Jack could see the struggle within her. She was wrestling with what to say. "There are legal documents, evidence connecting our families. If the CEO gets a hold of them, he could manipulate everything, including Lily's future." Jack shook his head in disbelief. "But why now? Why didn't you come to me sooner?" "I was afraid. Afraid of bringing the past back, afraid for you, afraid for Lily. The decisions we made, they were meant to protect you." Each word cut deeper, revealing wounds he thought he'd healed. "Protect me? Or protect yourself?" he challenged, his voice trembling. From the back, the CEO watched with a smirk, as if enjoying the turmoil unfolding before him. "It's a classic story, isn't it?" two families bound by mistakes. The repercussions echo across generations. Jack turned back to the woman, his expression softer now as he grappled with the intensity of the situation. What do we do? How do we make sure Lily is safe? You need to gather allies, Jack. People who can help sift through the debris of our past. There are people who care who will fight for her. Jack nodded, a flicker of determination igniting within. Then that's what we'll do. As he glanced around the room, he saw a mix of curious faces and hidden agendas. But one thing was clear: alliances would be forged in this battle, and he would do anything to keep Lily safe. But deep down, he sensed a brewing storm, a tempest of truths and lies waiting to unravel. What was this legacy that had been awakened? What other secrets would claw their way to the surface as he dug deeper? Jack, we need to move quickly, the woman urged again, eyes darting back to the CEO, who seemed to revel in Jack's moment of vulnerability. Let us go then. We're not backing down, Jack replied with a fierce resolve, gripping Lily's hand tightly for reassurance. As they moved to exit, Jack's heart thumped heavily, a mixture of anxiety and adrenaline. He could feel an undeniable shift in the energies around them. They were on the brink of something monumental. This was only the beginning. What lay ahead would test them beyond anything they had faced before. Could he handle the impending wave of truth about to crash over them? With each step toward the unknown, he sensed the weight of revelation pressing down even harder. Yet, in that pain flickered a stubborn hope. Was it enough to guide them through the darkness? And as they crossed the threshold into the night, Jack couldn't shake the feeling that the true battle had just begun. Jack stepped out into the cool night air, his breath visible in the flickering streetlights. The sounds of the bustling crowd faded into a distant murmur as he pulled Lily closer, her small frame warming his heart amidst the swirling chaos. The woman, once a shadow from the past, walked beside them, her expression a blend of determination and fear. Where do we start? Jack asked, looking around as if the answers were hidden among the shadows. We need to find the documents, she replied, urgency tinging her voice. There are people in the city who can help us, allies who understand the stakes. Why should I trust you? You just reappeared out of nowhere. The words felt heavy in his mouth, but Jack needed answers, not just for himself, but for Lily. I know it feels that way, and I can't erase the past. Her eyes shimmered with regret. But I'm here now. And I'll do whatever it takes to protect her. Trust me for her sake. He looked down at Lily, who had her small fingers intertwined with his, her innocent gaze shimmering with uncertainty. Okay, he finally said, taking a deep breath. We'll do this together. Just tell me who to talk to. There's someone named Mark. He used to work for the company. He may know about the connections, the hidden things. We can meet him at a diner on Maple Street, she instructed. As they walked, Jack's heart began to race with new fears. What if he was leading Lily into danger? He glanced at her, and for a moment, the world fell away. Her wide, trusting eyes filled him with both resolve and dread. Daddy, are we going to be okay? She asked, her voice soft, a hint of worry creeping in. Absolutely, sweetheart. We're just going to meet some friends, he replied, trying to inject confidence into his words. But inside, doubts and fears churned. Was he doing the right thing? When they reached the diner, the neon sign buzzed, casting an eerie glow against the night. The clatter of plates and soft murmurs of late-night conversations wrapped around them like a cozy blanket. Jack pushed the door open, ushering Lily inside before turning to the woman. What if he doesn't want to help us? He will, she asserted. He lost almost everything because of this. Mark knows what's at stake, and he won't turn his back. Just trust me. Jack nodded, though apprehension lingered. They found a booth in the corner where the light barely reached. After a few moments, a tall man with messy hair and wary eyes, dressed in a faded leather jacket, approached them. Jack? He asked, his voice rough but curious. Yeah, and this is Lily, he introduced, motioning toward his daughter. Can we talk? Mark nodded, sliding into the booth with them, keeping his gaze locked on Jack. You're in deeper than you realize. The CEO won't let this go easily. What do you need from me? We're looking for documents, something that connects our families. I need to protect my daughter and expose the truth, Jack explained, feeling the weight of the moment pressing down on him. Mark's eyes narrowed, an understanding forming. You're standing at the edge of a storm. If you're not careful, things could get really ugly. I know the risks, but I'm willing to do whatever it takes, Jack answered, the fire igniting once more inside him. She's my priority. So let us get to work then, Mark said, a serious look crossing his face. We might just have a chance if we stick together. But we need to be careful. We'll attract attention. Just then, Jack felt the hairs on the back of his neck stand on end as a familiar sense of danger loomed nearby. Something primal stirred inside him. As he turned to look out the diner window, in the reflection he caught a glimpse of a figure lurking, watching. A rush of adrenaline surged through him, a warning. We need to go now, he urged, adrenaline tightening in his chest. But before they could move, the door swung open, and in walked the CEO, a smug smile gracing his lips as his eyes met Jack's. Ah, Jack. Looks like you're not as good at hiding as you think, he taunted, the tension in the air thickening. Jack's heart raced as he drew Lily close, ready to face the confrontation ahead. What was he willing to fight for? Everything was about to come to a head. And as the CEO approached, each moment stretched, revealing the true depth of their entanglement. Would they be able to escape this time, or was the storm finally breaking over them? The air in the diner felt electric, charged with uncertainty as Jack faced the CEO. Instinct kicked in, and he stood tall, protecting Lily with a shield of determination. What do you want? He demanded, his voice steady but laced with the urgency of a man who had overcome too much to let go now. The CEO's smirk widened, revealing teeth like a predator's. Oh, Jack, he cooed, a mockery of sweetness dripping from his lips. This is about so much more than you can understand. The legacy I mentioned, it runs deeper, and I'm here to remind you of it. Your family and mine, intertwined in ways you never fathomed. Jack felt the weight of confusion pressing down, but he refused to buckle. You think you can control my life, my daughter's future? Not anymore. His heart pounded with every beat, fueled by the love for Lily and the desire to shield her from this dark entanglement. Is that so? The CEO countered, stepping closer, the confidence radiating off him like heat from a fire. History has a funny way of repeating itself, and I'm sure you'll find that there's a reason why we're similarly route two families weighed down by the choices made by our predecessors. More importantly, your daughter's place is about to be tested. Lily tugged at Jack's jacket, her tiny voice shaking. Dad, I don't like him. Jack knelt to her level, his gaze fierce yet gentle. I'm right here, sweetheart. Nothing's going to happen to you, I promise. He squeezed her hand. Mark shifted uncomfortably beside them, eyes darting between Jack and the CEO. Jack, we can't let him manipulate this. He's playing a dangerous game, he cautioned. The CEO laughed, a chilling sound. Oh, you think you have any real power here? Ignorance is bliss, isn't it, Mark? Too many secrets, too many lies. Stop. Jack snapped, every nerve sharp with tension. If you have something you want to say, then say it. But know this, I will fight to protect my daughter. Whatever it takes. Then let the games begin, the CEO replied, and with a flick of his wrist, he signaled to his entourage that had gathered at the entrance. Jack's stomach twisted at the sight of them, specters emerging from the shadows, glancing at Lily with a predatory gleam in their eyes. He couldn't let this escalate. He wouldn't. Mark leaned in closer, whispering urgently to Jack. We need to regroup. Get Lily out. Now! Jack yelled, grabbing Lily and taking her hand. The door swung open as he bolted for the exit, his heart pounding a furious rhythm. He could hear the CEO's mocking laughter trailing behind him. As they rushed outside, Jack and Lily made their way to the car parked out back. Get in! He ordered, his voice fierce and protective. Lily climbed into the back seat, her face pale but determined. What's happening, Dad? We're going to get through this, but we need to be smart, he said, trying to remain calm, though his heart raced. Jack, Mark shouted as he dashed after them, barely sliding into the passenger seat just as Jack cranked the engine. Drive, Mark urged, his voice tight. We need to get somewhere safe. Jack complied and the tires screeched as he sped away from the diner, the glow of the neon lights fading behind them. Adrenaline surged through him as he navigated the streets, desperate to distance himself from the growing danger. What was his deal with us? Mark asked, panic creeping into his tone as they slipped into the shadows of the city. There are connections we don't know about, Jack replied, keeping his focus on the road. We'll figure it out. We have to for Lily. As they delved deeper into the night, the enormity of their predicament weighed heavily. But hope flickered somewhere inside him, ignited by determination. He couldn't let fear dictate his choices. They would find answers, allies, and together they would fight back against whatever legacy was threatening them. Pulling onto a deserted side street, Jack parked the car. This is our safest bet for now. We need a plan. Do you think he'll follow us? Lily asked, her brave facade momentarily cracking. No one is going to hurt you, Lily, Jack murmured reassuringly, grasping her tiny hand again. We'll stay together, just like we always do. Mark nodded, locking eyes with Jack. I know some people who can help us dig deeper. Some reporters who've crossed paths with the CEO before. As they formulated a plan, Jack glanced at Lily, who was drawing in her breath, the strength in her small voice carrying a bigger truth. Dad, we've got this, right? Jack met her fierce gaze, a radiant smile breaking through the shadows. Absolutely, sweetie. The determination ignited within him, a promise forged in the fires of adversity. No matter the chaos ahead, he would face it all head-on, because the bond of love would illuminate their path through the dark. It was time to reclaim their destiny, unravel the web of lies, and define their legacy, one built on resilience, unity, and an unwavering father-daughter bond that no force could sever. The fight was about to get real, but together they would rise stronger than ever, and as the night carried on, Jack knew the final battle had only just begun. You need to subscribe now to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories. This is the moment to show your support. If you felt anything during this journey, leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Comment your reactions and feelings about this ending. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation.